Greetings. In this screen recording, I'm going to talk about a stock tracking spreadsheet I put together using an open source template, the Google Finance API, and then Dr. Desmaurien's data sets that he's posted on his website. So without further ado, I'm going to turn off this webcam and just speak into the screen. All right, here we go. So to start with where the data came from, this professor, I'll just call him Dr. D because that's going to be easier for me, is my guru when it comes to the subjects of valuation, portfolio management, corporate finance. When I try and learn more about how markets work nationally and globally, this is the guy I go to. And what's great is he's really good about posting so much of his coursework on YouTube and on his kind of older website. Same with his data. So what I've done is each year Dr. D publishes his data set from the previous year on his website, and it's available for download. So that's the teaching page of his website. You can see the data sets here, and you can navigate to, as well as his archive data. So it's all right here. Anyway, so I took that data, uploaded it to Google Sheets, did file. They're in Excel format by default, so you need to go file, save as Google Sheet, and it will do the conversion for you. And so in his data sets, I was downloading a lot of these, and I noticed that the trend was the companies that did best last year, had the most growth, made the most profit, were in two sectors: financial services and computers and peripherals. So I wanted to download most of his data is calculated by group, but he does have the data set in this sheet of the industry names that make up each group and their exchange ticker. That's particularly important because with that ticker symbol and the company name, we can pull data from the Google Finance API to further value these specific sectors. So that's what I did over here. And this stock trading spreadsheet started from this guy or girl, I don't know their gender actually, Big Bear 0083. I found that on Reddit, made a copy, and this sheet is basic formulas, but what makes it so much powerful spreadsheet formulas, you can do in any spreadsheet, is the Google Finance API. And so if you look up here in the formula bar, you can see how that's pulling data from Google Finance so that you can see, let me stop what I was doing there. There we go. So you can see how a company is doing. So what I did was I took all from this industry name group, I did Command F, and I searched for financial services. There we go. And I could, so using basic search, I found that 235 entries of the firms that Dr. D incorporated into his financial services non-bank industry group, which again, the why for this is these are the companies that grew the most. last year, in the year of 2020. So I pulled those into this spreadsheet, and we have the exchange ticker here, but we need the ticker symbol for the to pull the Google Finance data. So I just did a simple write cell B2 in this case 4, so it's pulling the 4 characters to the right over into cell C2, and now when we go to the Spark chart, we can use this formula to pull the 90-day chart for the firm. You can get the current price, 52-week high, 52-week low, and then current rally, which is calculated by dividing the current price, subtracting the current price from the 52-week low and then dividing that by the 52-week low. The next thing I did was I did some conditional formatting here to overlay a cover scale on which firms, let me turn down the ham radio, which firms grew the most. And we can see that some firms grew quite a bit, and so the range is quite big, from 0%, this firm didn't grow at all, to over 6,000%, right? So we'll jump back to the top, or just at 6,000% growth. So this firm went from 28 cents a share to $17. Digital, whatever that is, right? So I was like, okay, looking at this conditional format, how many firms do we have in the top tier? And I decided to just go with firms over that had over 600% growth and greater. And so we have 1 in the 600% growth distribution, 4 in the 700% growth distribution, 1 in the 1 to 2,000% growth distribution, 1 in the 5K, or 2 in the 5K technically, but this one's very close to 6K. So I put those into this sheet. The other thing is, this is just a miscellaneous note. In this tab, I just copied and pasted 30 of the, how many do we have? 235 firms that I couldn't pull data from easily. So you can see these ticker symbols, for whatever reason, we're just not getting good data, so I just pulled them out of the data set. If the data is not easy to get with the Google Finance API, why include it in the valuation? I want this to be easy. So the next thing I did, I'm not a big investor, and if you find me online, you'll see that, or on LinkedIn, I have a reasonable job, and typically I'm an investor that I buy the entire index fund with a very low fee. So that's typically my investment strategy, and so for that reason, this is fun for me, but I'm investing a relatively small amount of money for me. I realize for some people watching this might be a large amount, but this is about an amount of money I'm comfortable completely losing as part of this learning process. So what I did was, I purchased I just did the $100 calculator. So I bought as close to $100 in stock from each of these top 9 companies that was in the high part of the distribution for the, that guy just changed on us. This is a live spreadsheet, so it changes in real time. That's what happened as the data came from the server, so now that one's at 500%. And you can see a lot of these are, all of these are what you would call penny stocks, except for this one, which is the BT symbol. So we'll see what happens. All totaled, I spent $700 on these holdings. For this amount of shares and this amount of money. This one was kind of interesting. You'll see it's far short of 100, and I was this is actually a Bitcoin firm, and I know Bitcoin's on the way down, so I couldn't allow myself to put $100 on this. I feel like Bitcoin will probably continue to go down. So, but I was like, for the sake of this project, I can put, what's the max I can put on it? $50. So I got I put $50 on this firm, and we'll see what happens. So anyway, why am I doing this? Is first off, I find it interesting, and then the second thing is Dr. D implores his users to do whatever you want with his data, basically, and he's not doing this for us. So I think this is one way to use this data to create an investment strategy, an experimental one, admittedly, and we'll see how it works. So if this was useful for you, great. If you have feedback or comments, feel free to leave them below. And I'll put links to all this data in the video description. Thanks for watching. Bye.